Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am here live on the campus of Attleboro High School in Attleboro, Massachusetts, here for some high school boys basketball playoff action in the first round of the Massachusetts South Division I sectional tournament. Our teams for tonight are the 9th-seeded Brookline High School Warriors and the 8th-seeded Attleboro High School Blue Bombardiers. Very tight-knit matchup, as you always see, between the 8 and 9 seed in the first round. Certainly one of the more exciting ones. Both teams went 2-2 in their last 4 games to close out the season. Brookline finishing with a tough 71-60 loss to a powerful Brockton team, while Attleboro finished 2-2, but came out of their last game with a win, 62-50 over North Attleboro. Brookline finished the season at 14-6 to earn the 9th seed, winning a tiebreaker over 10th-seeded Taunton, who also finished 14-6. Meanwhile, Attleboro finished the season 16-6 to claim the 8th spot, just behind 7th-seeded Marshfield, who came away with a 15-5 record. These two teams playing for the chance to take on top-seeded Mansfield on Friday night. Should they win this game, Mansfield, the number 1 seed with a 19-3 regular season record, as they get the bye through the first round and await the winner of this game. Brookline throughout the season has typically had the advantage in experience with a big senior class of 7 seniors, but no advantage this time, as Attleboro also comes in with a very strong senior presence, 7 seniors of their own. That includes senior co-captain Bryant Chicho, who was named the Hockomock League MVP, the first ever Blue Bombardier to win the award. And he is also joined by senior co-captain Qualim Charles, who was also named a League All-Star, and senior guard Nick McMahon, who was named a League Honorable Mention. So very strong senior presence with some very big-name players for the Blue Bombardiers. Qualim Charles bringing considerable size with his 6'5" frame, so he will certainly bring plenty. Will certainly be a tough matchup in the post for the Brookline Warriors, but of course they bring plenty of big game experience as well, with their all-senior starting lineup featuring Ben Murray, Ben Ordonez, Bryce Burke, Lucio Dulstedt-Brown, and Miles Avalon. Just a little under 2 minutes left to go before I turn things over to the PA announcers for the announcement of starting lineups and the playing of our national anthem. As I said, Brookline finishing their season with a 14-6 record. They got on a hot streak towards the end of December and through most of January, with a long winning streak of about 7 games, I believe. But then, bit of a rocky finish since then, as since the snapping of that winning streak, they have only won back-to-back games once through the rest of the season, and have gone 4-4 since then. We heard the buzzer sound, and we hear this capacity crowd here at Attleboro High School getting loud. This is a packed gymnasium, just what you want to see for a high school basketball playoff game, with a raucous Attleboro student section just a short gap away from where I'm standing. Some of them coming to this game in what appear to be lacrosse helmets, baseball batting helmets. I think I saw some football helmets in there, and at least one kid is wearing a hard hat. So Attleboro showing that their hard-headed Blue Bombardiers aren't going to go down easily in this one, as I now turn things over to the PA announcer for the start of this game.
And your Attleboro Blue Bombardiers. Participating student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. Integrity, fairness, and respect are all the principles of good sportsmanship. And these are lifetime values taught through athletics. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. Unacceptable fan behavior will result in removal from the contest. In the event of an emergency, please see staff or police at each corner of the gymnasium. Our great nation has preserved through the leadership and sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to stand. Please stand for the playing of our national anthem. Now let's meet our starting lineups. First, the visiting team from Brookline. At guard, senior number 20, Ben Marley. At guard, team number 10, Ben Ordonez. At guard, senior captain number 20, Bryce Burke. At forward, senior number 22, Lucio Brown. At forward, senior captain number 23, Miles Avalon. And now
All right, after the announcements of the lineups, we are ready to get this game underway. Both teams coming out with an all-senior lineup. For Brookline, it is Ben Murray, Ben Ordonez, Bryce Burke, Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown, and Miles Avalon, while Attleboro boasts a lineup of Nick McMahon, Jason Weir, Tim Callahan, Brian Cicio, and Qualim Charles. Two teams get ready for their starting jump. Attleboro in white, Brookline in blue. It'll be Qualim Charles taking the jump for Attleboro, while Miles Avalon takes the jump for Brookline. Ball is up. Tip is won by Attleboro. Nick McMahon takes the ball to start things off. He passes over to his right, over to Tim Callahan. Callahan passes it back up top to Cicio. Cicio back over to Callahan in the corner. He floats it over to Qualim Charles, and Charles draws the foul. They say no shot. Just a little too heavily contested on the pass right there. So that'll be the game's first foul called on Miles Avalon. So one foul for Brookline very quickly. Quick inbound for McMahon, and it's blocked by Murray. Tim Callahan tried to do a quick shot, but blocked well by Murray. He runs in the fast break, goes to Dahlstedt-Brown. Dahlstedt-Brown goes for the layup. He misses. Collected by Ordonez. Ordonez trying to get it out of there, but he loses control of the pass. It's taken away by Tim Callahan. Callahan passes it over to McMahon as they are across half court. McMahon passes over to Cicio in the right corner, swings it all the way over to the left corner to Callahan. He tries to pass it down low to Charles. It gets deflected, but goes back to Callahan. He passes it up top to McMahon. Back over to Callahan in the left corner. Back up top to McMahon. McMahon passes over to Callahan on the left wing. He shoots for three. Hits it! First basket of the game from Tim Callahan, and Attleboro takes a 3-0 lead over Brookline. Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown brings it across half court for Brookline. He swings it over to Murray, who then gives it over to Bryce Burke on the right wing. Burke swings it over to Dahlstedt-Brown on the left wing, then down to Ben Murray in the left corner. Ben Murray dribbles out and then passes it up top to Bryce Burke. Burke swings it over to Ordonez. Ordonez drives. He kicks it out to Dahlstedt-Brown, who juggled the pass for a second, who then gives it over to Ordonez, then back over to Dahlstedt-Brown up top. Dahlstedt-Brown strives in, goes for the shot. Off the backboard, no good. Rebound by McMahon. McMahon brings it across half court, gives it over to Cicio. Cicio fires from three, no good. Rebound by Ben Murray. Murray bringing it up for Brookline. He brings it across half court. Dribbling at the right wing, looking for an option. Kicks it over to Dahlstedt-Brown, who then brings it over to Bryce Burke on the left wing. Burke dribbles towards the top, sends it over to Ordonez in the left corner. Ordonez sends it up top to Dahlstedt-Brown. Dahlstedt-Brown starts to drive, goes for a layup, and hits it. An awkward layup, but well executed by Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown for Brookline's first points. Nick McMahon brings it across half court for Attleboro with a 3-2 lead. Almost gets it taken away by Burke, but then passes it over to Weir. Weir gives it over to Cicio. Cicio drives in, goes for the shot. No shot. The ref says the foul occurred before the shot. This will be on against Ben Ordonez. Second of the half for Brookline. First for Ordonez. Floats it up to Jason Weir. Weir hands it off to Cicio. Cicio starts to drive inside once again. He goes up for a floater and hits it. Well executed floater by Brian Cicio, and it's now a 5-2 lead for Attleboro. Ordonez brings it across half court, gives it up top to Murray. Murray drives inside, goes for a floater of his own, banks it in. Bit of a scoreboard mishap as they make it 7-2 Attleboro, when in fact it is 5-4. Actually, I think it's 7-4. I think it's the correct score. As McMahon brings it across half court, gives it to Cicio, back to McMahon. McMahon drives in, goes for an awkward layup. No good, but he draws the foul. Third foul for Brookline within the first 3 minutes of the quarter. I believe this one will also go against Avalon. Attleboro with a 7-4 lead, and McMahon will be going to the free throw line. First free throw is good. And Brookline with their first substitution as Alex Socorro checks in, replacing Miles Avalon, who has already committed 2 fouls. McMahon goes for a second free throw and hits it. A little bit of a mishap with the scorers table here. And once again, the score is, and I guess with the 2 free throws, it's now 7-4. Scoreboard making things perfectly confusing here early on. Inbound to Ben Murray. He gives it back to Dahlstedt Brown. He brings it across half court. Passes over to Ordonez on the left wing. Then over to Burke in the left corner. Burke dribbles around, gives it to Dahlstedt Brown at the top of the key. He starts to dribble, but pulls back, gives it to Ben Murray on the left wing. Ben Murray dribbles towards the top, gives it to Socorro on the right wing, and Socorro travels. Nick McMahon now bringing the ball across half court for Attleboro. He passes it over to Cicio on the right wing. Cicio dribbling against Ordonez. Cicio drives in, kicks it out to McMahon in the right corner. McMahon starts to dribble in, pulls into the key, goes for an awkward layup, no good. Rebound collected by Socorro. He gives it to Burke. Bryce Burke brings it across half court. Gives it over to Ben Murray on the left wing. Murray slowly dribbling around. He brings it back to the top. Gives it over to Burke. Burke pumps, drives, passes to Dahlstedt Brown at the top of the key. Dahlstedt Brown pulls back. He swings it over to Socorro. Socorro fires from the left wing. No good. Rebound Ordonez. And a hard fall. And they're going to call a foul. That's going to be against number 4, Tim Callahan. The first foul of the game for Attleboro. First for Callahan. Dahlstedt Brown looking for the inbound now for Brookline after the foul. He gives it to Socorro. Socorro kicks it out to Ordonez on the right wing. He sends it back up top to Murray. Murray starts to drive, kicks it out to Bryce Burke on the left wing. He starts to drive, goes for a pass, but intercepted by McMahon. McMahon gives it over to Weir, who gives it back to McMahon, who brings it across half court, swings it over to Callahan in the right corner. Callahan sends it up top to Cicio. Cicio swings it over to Weir on the left wing. He sends it down low to Charles. Charles backing down, and they're going to say Charles traveled. 2 substitutions now for Brookline as Theo Murray and Devani Perez replace Alex Socorro and Ben Ordonez. And for Attleboro, that'll be number 23, Lorenzo Wilson, replacing Qualim Charles. Long inbound pass floated over to Perez. Devani Perez brings it across half court for Brookline. Perez, still dribbling, holding it at the top, starts to drive in, kicks it out to Burke on the right wing, swings it over to Theo Murray on the left wing, who then gives it over to Ben Murray. Ben Murray holding, starts to dribble, then kicks it out to Dahlstedt Brown. Dahlstedt Brown fires from the corner, no good. What a foul. And I believe that was a 3-point shot. So I think Dahlstedt Brown will be getting 3 free throws here, courtesy of a foul by Jason Weir. That's his first, Attleboro's second. 7-4 still the score in favor of Attleboro. As Dahlstedt Brown lines up for his first free throw, and he hits it. 7-5 now the score. Dahlstedt Brown lining up for his second free throw. And he hits it again. Lucio Dahlstedt Brown taking full advantage of this 3 free throw situation as he gets ready for his third, a potential game tire. 7-6 the score. He puts it up and in. 3 for 3 at the line by Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, and he brings it from a 7-4 deficit to a 7-7 tie. Nick McMahon slowly bringing it across the court for Attleboro, defended by Devani Perez. He's across half court, dribbles to his right over to the right wing, sends it up top to Cicio. Bryant Cicio starts to drive in, goes for another floater, almost banks it in, but it just rolls out. Rebound Perez, in transition, he throws it to Dahlstedt Brown. Dahlstedt Brown goes for the layup, and he hits it. Another awkward layup made by Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, who is on fire so far for this Brookline team. Nick McMahon brings it slowly across half court, gives it over to Cicio. Cicio holding it at the left wing. Sends it back up top to McMahon. McMahon spins around, drives in, pulls up from just inside the key, and hits it. Short range jumper by Nick McMahon, and the score is now tied at 9. 2:40 to go in the quarter. Ben Murray dribbling at the right wing. He starts to drive in, puts up the awkward layup, and he hits it. A lot of contact on that, but no foul call, but Ben Murray still manages to bank in the awkward layup. 11-9 the score in favor of Brookline. McMahon brings it across half court. Tries to send it inside. Deflected, intercepted by Perez. He's on the run. And they're going to say it's a travel. Perez is trying to collect the ball and either get around or get through Tim Callahan, but instead, Perez is called for the travel. 11-9 the score in favor of 9th-seeded Brookline over 8th-seeded Attleboro as we have some substitutions. Number 2 for Attleboro, Justin Daniels, replaces Tim Callahan, who defended well on that fast break attempt by Devani Perez. The inbound goes to McMahon. McMahon bringing it slowly up the court, defended by Devani Perez. Across half court, dribbles up to the three-point line, then gives it over to Daniels. Daniels sends it back up top to McMahon. McMahon dribbling around, back over to Daniels. Daniels starts to drive in, kicks it out to McMahon. McMahon starts to drive in and goes for the layup. Rim rolls out, rebound Charles. And there's a foul call. Are they going to say the shot counts? No, they're going to say the shot. Yes, they are going to say that the shot counts, and he draws the foul. I'm not sure who the foul is on because the scoreboard says it was on Miles Avalon, which is only a slight problem because he's not on the floor right now. Charles goes for the end one and hits it. 12-11 now the score in favor of Attleboro. Bryce Burke slowly bringing it up for Brookline. Gets across half court, swings it over to Perez in the left wing. Perez swings it over to Burke. Burke fires from 3, hits it! Big shot by Bryce Burke gives Brookline back the lead, 14-12 with 1:40 left in the quarter. McMahon slowly bringing it up. Passes it over to Charles. Charles passes it out to Callahan. Callahan swings it over to Cicio on the left wing. Cicio sends it inside to Charles. Charles backs down, goes for the turnaround. He hits it and draws the foul. Waleem Charles with back-to-back and one place in the post. Brookline now substituting in number 44, Demetrius Antoniadis, replacing Alex Socorro. 14-14 the score, and Waleem Charles gives them a 15-14 lead after making the end one. The inbound to Ben Murray, slowly bringing it across half court. He dribbles fast, he's going inside all by himself, misses the layup defended by Charles, who makes the rebound. He gives it over to McMahon. McMahon now dribbling across half court. He starts to lose control and he kicks it out of bounds. McMahon slipped for a second, tried to collect his dribble, but he dribbled it off his foot and out of bounds. Attleboro with a 15-14 lead and some good defense by Charles, but couldn't capitalize after the turnover by McMahon. Inbounded to Ben Murray. He brings it across half court, gives it over to Burke on the right wing. He swings it up top to Perez. Back over to Ben Murray on the right wing. Murray goes inside, goes for an awkward layup, misses. Rebound Cicio. Cicio gives it to Callahan in transition. Callahan runs into defense, kicks it out to McMahon. McMahon starts to dribble in. Tries to swing it over, but intercepted by Perez. Perez now running in transition. Perez goes for the floater. No good. Rebound McMahon. McMahon now trapped, but passes out of it to Cicio. Cicio goes across half court. He kicks it over to Callahan in the corner. Callahan fires for 3. Hits it. 18-14 now the score in favor of Attleboro. Less than 30 seconds left in the quarter. Ben Murray swings it over to Perez across half court. Perez starting to dribble. He starts to go inside, kicks it out. It's Bryce Burke driving in from the corner. He passes to Antoniadis, and it's deflected and then deflected off Antoniadis. Demetrius Antoniadis received the pass inside from Bryce Burke, then tried to swing it back to Burke, but it was deflected by Attleboro and then went off the hands of Antoniadis, who now checks out in favor of Dahlstedt Brown. 15.3 seconds and it's inbounded to Cicio. 18-14, the Attleboro lead, and it looks like they're going to hold for the last shot of the quarter. Cicio dribbling around Burke, looking for the last second shot, and it just rolls out. So after 1 quarter of play, the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers hold an 18-14 lead over the Brookline Warriors. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and we'll be back with the second quarter after a brief break. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to Attleboro High School. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here with this South Division I first round game between 8th-seeded Attleboro and 9th-seeded Brookline. Attleboro with an 18-14 lead after 1 quarter. Brookline with the first possession. Theo Murray now holding it on the left wing. He kicks it up top to Dahlstedt Brown. Lucio Dahlstedt Brown passes it over to Ben Murray on the right wing, who then passes it over to Alex Socorro at the top of the key, who then gives it over to Bryce Burke on the left wing, back up top to Ben Murray. They're running out of shot clock as they swing it over to Dahlstedt Brown, then up top to Burke. Burke fires for 3 and he hits it! Bryce Burke with his second three-pointer of the game, and he provides the second quarter with its first points, cutting the Attleboro lead to 18-17. Nick McMahon slowly brings it up, then passes it over to Tim Callahan, then over to Jason Weir, then into the left wing to Nick McMahon, up top to Bryant Cicio. Cicio dribbling around, stops, gives it up top to McMahon. McMahon passes it over to Justin Daniels, and Daniels drives in and loses control of the ball. Ben Ordonez checks in for Brookline, replacing Alex Socorro, and number 1, Evan Poole, comes in for Attleboro, replacing Justin Daniels after the turnover. Inbound to Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, who gives it back to Ben Murray. Murray slowly brings it across half court, dribbling around, floats it up to Dahlstedt Brown inside. Dahlstedt Brown turns around, puts up the jumper, and hits it! Dahlstedt Brown from just outside the key. It's a nice fadeaway jumper to make it 19-18 and give Brookline back the lead. Tim Callahan brings it across half court for Attleboro. He gives it over to Houle, Evan Houle, and we've got an off-the-ball foul. That's going to be against Bryce Burke. That is Brookline's 6th foul of this half. Scoreboard counts it as the 2nd foul for Burke, but I don't really trust the count of that scoreboard after we had some mishaps with the score itself, and after they once called a foul on Avalon when he wasn't on the floor. So scoreboard having some struggles there, and we have a timeout called here with 6:43 left in the second quarter. 9th-seeded Brookline with a thin 1-point lead over 8th-seeded Attleboro, 19-18. The officials talking to the scorers table. I think they're trying to figure out maybe about the foul counts. So Brookline opening on a good start to this second quarter. A 5-0 run to open thanks to a 3-pointer by Bryce Burke and a short-range jumper by Lucio Dahlstedt Brown. Dahlstedt Brown has been on fire so far this game. He hit 2 awkward layups in the first quarter and also hit 3 out of 3 free throws after being fouled on a shot from long range. So he's already doing very well. As we now get ready for Attleboro inbound, the inbound goes to the backcourt to Nick McMahon. McMahon gets across half court. He's defended by Ben Murray. Looking for a passing option. He gives it over to Jason Weir, who then hands it off back to McMahon. McMahon tries to go around the pick, drive in, goes for the layup, misses, but rebound by Weir, who gets the putback. 20-19. Now the lead after the layup by Jason Weir. Ben Murray brings it across half court, gives it to Devontae Perez in the right wing. Pass over to Dahlstedt Brown on the left wing. He drives in, kicks it out to Ben Murray. Ben Murray shoots for 3, hits it. Another big 3-pointer from Brookline, this time by Ben Murray, and the score is now 22-20. Nick McMahon brings it across half court for Attleboro. Gives it over to Bryant Cicio on the right wing. Cicio dumps it down low to Jason Weir. Weir kicks it out to McMahon. McMahon sends it back over to Cicio on the right wing. Cicio once again sends it down low to Weir. Weir backs down, goes for the shot. They're going to call the foul on Theo Murray, who thought he had a clean block. He was not happy about that call, but either way, that'll be his first foul. Brookline's 7th of the half. Attleboro will be shooting the bonus for the remaining 5 minutes and 55 seconds of this half. As Jason Weir goes for 2 free throws. Back rims the first, no good. Daniel Dalzell checks into the game for Brookline, replacing Ben Murray. As in this case, it was a shooting foul, so Weir goes for his second free throw, hits this one. We have another substitution, this time for Attleboro, as Qualim Charles checks in, replacing Evan Houle. Perez inbounds to Ordonez for Brookline, a 22-21 lead. Ordonez brings it across half court, passes over to Perez, then over to Dalzell on the left wing, down to Dahlstedt Brown in the left corner. He kicks it out to Perez in the left wing, up top to Ordonez. Ordonez passes over to Perez in the left wing, back over to Ordonez in the left corner. Ordonez dribbling, goes inside, hits traffic, and they're going to say he drew the foul. Dahlstedt Brown collided with 1 or 2 Attleboro defenders and drew a foul. They're going to say it was on Tim Callahan, his second foul of the game. Attleboro's 3rd of the half. Perez now looking for the inbound for Brookline. He inbounds it to Ordonez, who then kicks it out to Dalzell. Over to Dahlstedt Brown on the right wing. He dribbles in, pulls up from the free throw line, airballs it. Rough turnover from Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, who's been having a heck of a game so far. And we have a substitution as Justin Daniels replaces Tim Callahan for Attleboro. Jason Weir getting ready to inbound. Brookline bringing the press. He sends it over to Cicio, who is defended in the corner by Ordonez. Cicio slowly bringing it out of the Attleboro side. Brings it across half court. Passes over to Charles at the top of the key. Charles passes it back up to Cicio, who tries to go around a pick. Nothing there. He swings it over to McMahon on the right wing. McMahon holding it, passes it back out to Cicio. Cicio drives in, hits traffic, kicks it out to McMahon. McMahon at the right corner, dribbles over to the wing, passes it back to the corner to Cicio. Cicio passes it down low to Charles. Charles is open and he hits the layup. Just barely beat the shot clock, but Pauline Charles providing so much trouble down low. Devontae Perez brings it up for Brookline. He swings it over to Theo Murray on the left wing. Now over to Dalstep Brown. Dalstep Brown dribbles, kicks it out to Murray. Passes it over to Perez. Perez over to Dalstep Brown in the corner. Dalstep Brown fires from three. What a lucky rim bounce! Dalstep Brown with a three-pointer. And now Brookline recaptures the lead at 25-23. Nick McMahon brings it across half court for Attleboro. He hands it off to Cicio. Cicio starts to dribble in, hits traffic, turns around again, goes for the layup, hits it. Some great movement, despite not having his dribble by Brian Cicio. It's inbounded to Dalzell, given back to Devontae Perez. Perez passes over to the wing to Theo Murray, then into the corner to Dalzell. Dalzell dribbles around, gives it up top to Dalstep Brown. Dalstep Brown fires for three again, no good this time. Rebound by Jason Weir of Attleboro. He gives it back to McMahon, who brings it across half court, defended by Daniel Dalzell. McMahon tries to go around a pick and swings it over to Weir. Weir fires from three and hits it. Nothing but net from the left wing by Jason Weir. Attleboro now leads 28-25. Devontae Perez brings it across half court for Brookline. Swings it over to Theo Murray on the right wing, and Theo Murray drives in, goes for an awkward layup. How did he hit that? So well defended. He almost got the ball stripped away from him on that drive, but Theo Murray still hits the layup and cuts the lead to 28-27. McMahon brings it across half court for Attleboro. Looking for a block from Weir. Instead they do the pick and roll. Oh, back over to Weir. Weir flows it inside of Charles. Charles hits the layup and the foul. Pauline Charles is just an impossible matchup in the post. Brookline doesn't seem to have anybody with the size to cover him. And we now have some substitutions as Ben Murray and number 55, John Stanton, check into the game as they replace Theo Murray and Daniel Dalzell for Brookline. Stanton probably being brought in for his size as Pauline Charles misses the and one, rebounded by Perez, who brings it across half court. Gives it up top to Dalstep Brown. Dalstep Brown over to the right wing to Perez. Perez tries to pass, deflected, picked up by McMahon. McMahon running in transition. He goes for the layup, and it rolls in. 32-27 now the score in favor of Attleboro. Ben Murray brings it across half court. Passes up top to Ben Ordonez. Ordonez over to Dalstep Brown on the left wing. Ordonez up top to Dalstep Brown up top to Ordonez, then over to Murray, then back to Dalstep to Ordonez, then back to Murray, and Ben Murray hits the three-pointer from the right wing. So much quick passing, I'm starting to forget who people are. Attleboro bringing up the ball. That's Nick McMahon bringing it up with his team, holding a 32-30 lead. McMahon passes over to Brian Cicio, who passes it down low to Charles. Pauline Charles holding it in the post, and they're going to call a travel on Charles. Charles being defended by the substitute, John Stanton, as Brookline makes another substitution. That's Andrew Mitchell coming in to replace Devontae Perez. Mitchell inbounds to Ben Murray. 2:20 left in this half. Attleboro leads Brookline 32-30. Murray brings it across half court, passes to Dalstep Brown, then back to Murray, then back to Dalstep Brown, and then back to Murray. Then over to Ordonez, then back up top to Ben Murray. Over to Dalstep Brown. Dalstep Brown fires from the right wing. Air balls again. Rebounded by Weir. Given over to Brian Cicio. Cicio brings it across half court. And he quickly drives inside, goes for a layup. Blocked by Dalstep Brown, but they're going to call the foul. Dalstep Brown came over to help, and he had to block from behind because of the fast drive by Cicio. And as a result, they draw the foul. That's Lucio Dalstep Brown's first foul of the game, 9th foul of the half for Brookline. Attleboro almost has the double bonus with 1:55 left to go in the second period. Brian Cicio will be at the line shooting two, with the 8th-seeded Blue Bombardiers holding a 32-30 lead over the 9th-seeded Warriors. First free throw from Cicio rolls out, no good. Bryce Burke checks into the game, replacing Andrew Mitchell. As CCO lines up for his second free throw, he puts it up and in. 33-30 now the score. And we have a substitution for Attleboro. That'll be Lorenzo Wilson checking in, replacing Nick McMahon. Inbound to Ben Murray. And he brings it across half court. Murray passes over to Bryce Burke, then back to Murray. Inside to Stanton, kicks it out to Bryce Burke. Bryce Burke fires from three. No good. Rebound Ordonez. Ordonez for the putback, and he hits it. Some more heads-up offensive rebounding from Ben Ordonez. And this time he gets the putback layup to cut the lead to 33-32. CCO slowly bringing up the ball for Attleboro. He passes it to the top of the key to Charles, kicks it back out to CCO. CCO pumps, dribbles to his right, passes it over to Justin Daniels. Daniels sends it down low to Charles, back out to Daniels. Daniels dribbling around looking for an opening, passes it up top to Weir, over to the right wing to CCO. CCO dribbling against Ordonez, he pulls up, no good. Rebounded by Ben Murray. Murray bringing it across half court in transition. He passes it over to Ordonez. Ordonez sends it inside to Stanton. Stanton pulls up. Shot rims out, but he gets the foul from Justin Daniels. Daniels was right behind Stanton. He turned around and tried to block from behind. Couldn't do it. And John Stanton, who did not see much playing time in the regular season with the varsity lineup, now getting some quality time in the playoffs, and he goes to the free throw line after Daniels commits his first foul of the game. Stanton back rims his first free throw. 4 fouls in the half for Attleboro as Nick McMahon checks in, replacing Jason Weir for Attleboro. John Stanton going for his second free throw with his team trailing by 1, 33-32. He hits the second free throw and ties the game. 33-33 the score with 1:01 left. Nick McMahon bringing up the ball for Attleboro. He gets across half court, being defended by Ben Murray. Swings it over to Charles, and they're going to call a reach on John Stanton, who is trying to poke the ball away on the pass. He's a little too far. That'll be his first foul, Brookline's 10th, and Attleboro will be shooting the double bonus. 51.5 seconds left in this half. Score tied, 33-33, between 8th-seeded Attleboro and 9th-seeded Brookline. Qualim Charles front rims his first free throw, no good. Qualim Charles has seen a lot of this free throw line so far this first half, trying so much physical contact as he is so hard to defend in the post. Goes for the second free throw, and it rolls in. Attleboro takes a 34-33 lead. Inbound to Dalstep Brown, given back to Ben Murray. Murray directing traffic. He gives it back to Dalstep Brown, who gives it back to Murray. Murray still needs to get across half court. He floats it over to Dalstep Brown. Dalstep Brown sends it over to Ordonez in the corner. Back to Dalstep Brown, up top to Burke. Over to Murray. Back to up top to Burke. Over to Dalstep Brown, then over to Ordonez. He rim rolls it out from the left corner. Rebound by Attleboro. Nick McMahon will be bringing it up. McMahon comes across half court. Gives it over to CCO. CCO on the right wing, dribbling around, looking for an opening. He pulls up from just inside the key and hits the floater. 36-33 to score, less than 15 seconds left. Murray gives it to Burke, then over to Dalstep Brown, then back to Burke, then over to Murray. Murray with 7 seconds left, looking for the last shot, draws some contact, no foul call, and he misses his shot. Charles heaves it, no good. So that's where the half will end. Attleboro with a 3-point lead, 36-33 over Brookline. The exact kind of close matchup you would hope to see from the number 8 and number 9 seeds in this South Division I first round matchup. As we go into the halftime break, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan live here from Attleboro High School. I will be back with the second half after a brief break. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to Attleboro High School. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan back with the second half of play in this Massachusetts South Division I first round matchup between the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers and the 9th-seeded Brookline Warriors. That first half leading the way for Brookline as we come into the second half. Attleboro has a slim 36-33 lead over Brookline. Exactly the kind of close matchup you would be hoping for in an 8-9 matchup. Brookline being led by 12 points each from Ben Murray and Lucio Dahlstedt Brown. 6 points from Bryce Burke, 2 from Ben Ordonez, and 1 from John Stanton. Meanwhile, on Attleboro's side, they have gotten 11 points from Qualim Charles, 7 from Brian Cicio, and 6 each from Tim Callahan, Jason Weir, and Nick McMahon. So Brookline with the high scores of the game so far in Murray and Dahlstedt Brown, but Attleboro spreading out the scoring a little better, as Attleboro showing that depth can really give you the lead, even if it is so slight at the moment, 36-33. Qualim Charles, of course, gave Brookline all kinds of fits, especially on their foul count, as they finished with 10 fouls for the half, as compared with Attleboro's 4 fouls. Meanwhile, Ben Murray and Lucio Dahlstedt Brown giving all kinds of effort to keep their team in it, making a number of clutch shots, each of them with 12 points. As we get ready to start the third quarter, all players are now out on the floor. Brookline going back to its starting lineup of Ben Murray, Ben Ordonez, Bryce Burke, Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, and Miles Avalon. While Attleboro also goes back to their starting lineup of Nick McMahon, Jason Weir, Tim Callahan, Brian Cicio, and Qualim Charles. The refs appear to be toweling off what I guess are some slippery sections of the floor. And now we have one of the staff out with the waxers. They're out waxing the floor, so entertaining start to the third quarter, I guess, as we wait for them to finish waxing the floors. And it looks like we're about ready for some basketball. Attleboro will be starting it off in the third quarter. Jason Weir inbounding the ball. And the first whistle is on and we are underway. Inbound deep in the backcourt to Nick McMahon as he brings it across half court, defended by Bryce Burke. Looking for a pass from up top, swings it over to Tim Callahan. Callahan back up top to McMahon. McMahon over to Brian Cicio, who throws it down low to Charles. Charles kicks it out to Callahan, who fires from 3, no good, but it was rebounded by Qualim Charles, but they're going to call him for an over the back. Crowd doesn't like that one, but he did reach over the back of Miles Avalon, so that'll be his first foul of the game and first foul for either team of the half. Inbound to Ben Murray. Murray bringing it across half court. He swings over to Lucio Dahlstedt Brown. Dahlstedt Brown sends it over to Bryce Burke. Bryce Burke dribbling, gives it over to Ordonez. Ordonez over to Dahlstedt Brown in the right corner. Dahlstedt Brown drives in, an awkward shot, and he banks it in! An awkward shot, fading to his left, defended from both sides, and not only does he bank it in, but he draws some contact. That'll be Attleboro's second foul, this one called on Nick McMahon. So Dahlstedt Brown going for the and one to try and tie this game at 36, and it rolls out no good. Rebound by Qualim Charles. Charles gives it back to McMahon. McMahon brings it across half court for Attleboro, who swings it over to Callahan. Callahan gets double teamed, gives it over to McMahon. McMahon tried to drive in and gave it to Weir, but it's deflected away by Dahlstedt Brown. McMahon collects it, dribbles back in retreat, and then gives it over to Cicio. Cicio gives it back over to McMahon on the wing. Down low to Charles. Charles goes to the layup, no good, but it looks like Charles may have drawn another foul. They're going to call another foul on Miles Avalon. They're saying that's his fourth. And again, I could swear I saw the scoreboard call a foul on him when he wasn't on the floor, but I guess I'm not down on the floor, so I don't know. Qualim Charles misses his first free throw. 36-35, still the score in favor of Attleboro. Charles goes for his second free throw, front rims it, no good, so he misses both. Ben Murray collects the rebound, passes it across half court to Ben Ordonez, then back up top to Burke, over to Dahlstedt Brown on the left wing, swings it back up top to Murray. Murray passes it back over to Dahlstedt Brown in the left corner
Dulcet Brown dribbles, then gives it back to Murray. Murray driving inside, going for an awkward layup, and he banks it in. Nick McMahon had him well covered, but Ben Murray manages to float one off the backboard and in, and Brookline takes a 37-36 lead. McMahon now bringing it across half court. He swings it over to Callahan on the left wing. Callahan tries to send it back up top to Cicio, but he juggles it, and it's picked up by Ordonez. Ordonez dribbling and decides to pull back. Gives it back to Dulcet Brown, who then gives it over to Burke, and then over to Murray on the right wing. Murray starts to dribble in, hits traffic, pulls back and gives it back over to Ordonez. Ordonez sends it back to Murray in the right corner. Murray dribbling back up top. Murray passes over to Dulcet Brown. Dulcet Brown pulls up for the free throw line, and it just rolls out. Rebound by McMahon. McMahon slowly bringing it up for Attleboro. Across half court now, and he passes it to a cutting Cicio, who then slips, falls, and loses the ball. It's picked up by Avalon, who then gives it to Burke. Burke dribbling across half court. He then swings it over to Murray. Murray fires wide open for three. Rims out. No good. Rebound by Charles, who then gives it to McMahon. McMahon bringing it slowly across half court. He's dribbling against Ordonez. He gets across half court, and they're going to call timeout. It's going to be a timeout called by Attleboro, as Brookline currently holding on to a 1-point lead, 37-36. Once again, Brookline opening on a nice run. They opened the second quarter with a 5-0 run to take away Attleboro's early 4-point advantage, and now we're getting a bit of deja vu. Attleboro came in the third quarter with a 3-point advantage, and Brookline opens with a 4-0 run. So once again, Brookline with the early momentum to start the quarter, but Attleboro has never let them manage to run away with that early momentum. Neither team really letting anyone run away with anything in this game. Such a tight contest, and I expect if things continue in this pattern, we're going to see a very exciting fourth quarter. Once again, that score, Brookline 37, Attleboro 36, 5:27 on the clock here in the third quarter of play of this South Division I first round game between the 8th-seeded Blue Bombardiers and the 9th-seeded Warriors. We're now coming out of Attleboro's timeout. Brookline getting their words from Courtney Valentine, while Attleboro gets it from their coach, Mark Poole. And Attleboro will be getting ready to inbound the ball from just beyond half court. Now looking for the inbound. They send it back court to Cicio. Bryant Cicio dribbling with the ball against Bryce Burke. He gets across half court, gives it over to Charles. Qualim Charles sends it back out to Jason Weir, then over to Nick McMahon on the left wing. McMahon sends it back up top to Cicio. Cicio starts to dribble in, kicks it out to Tim Callahan. Tim Callahan swings it back over to Cicio. Cicio pulls up from three. Front rim's no good. Rebound by Burke. A dangerous reach for that rebound as it was almost flying out of bounds. Burke, however, brings it across half court and gives it over to Dulcet Brown, then over to Ordonez, then into the corner to Miles Avalon, then back up top to the right wing to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbles up to the top and then sends it over to Bryce Burke on the left wing. Burke starting to drive in, sends a weird floater that front rims. Loose ball rebound is picked up by Tim Callahan. Gives it to McMahon, who brings it across half court. Starts to lose control of the ball, but he recovers. McMahon dribbles to his left. Tries to drive inside, hits traffic. Now looking for a passing option. He gives it to Weir. Weir sends it up top to Callahan. Callahan swings it over to Cicio. Cicio dribbles in, sends it up top to Charles, and Charles misses the layup. It just rolls out. Rebound by Avalon. He gives it to Murray. Murray starting to drive inside fast, and he's blocked from behind by Charles, and they're going to call a foul. Ben Murray was trying to weave around several defenders. He got hacked from behind by Qualim Charles. And it looks like instead they're going to call a foul on Bryant Cicio. Third foul of the half for Attleboro. One foul so far this game for Bryant Cicio. And Ben Murray hits the first layup to extend the lead to 38-36. We got a mass substitution for Attleboro. That's going to be Lorenzo Wilson, Justin Daniels, Evan Houle, and number 21, Adam Perlstein, seeing the floor for the first time, replacing all the starters except for Bryant Cicio. Ben Murray hits his second free throw, and we've now got a 39-36 game in favor of Brookline. The inbound to Cicio. Cicio bringing it across half court for Attleboro. Ball gets kicked away, and it's picked up by Burke. Burke dribbling in transition. passes it over to Ordonez. Ordonez kicks it back out to Murray. Murray sends it inside to Dulcet Brown. Dulcet Brown dribbles back behind the 3-point line. He then swings it back up top to Murray. Ben Murray holding the ball, trying to direct traffic, and he passes it over to Bryce Burke on the right wing. Back up top to Avalon. Over to the left wing to Ordonez. Ordonez back up top to Avalon. Avalon starts to dribble, but then kicks it out to Dulcet Brown. Dulcet Brown fires for 3. Front rim's no good. The rebound is knocked away, but then collected by Cicio. Cicio floats it up to Houle. Houle passes it back out to Pearlstein. Pearlstein sends it back up top to Cicio. Cicio hands it off to Daniels, then back over to Pearlstein. Pearlstein passes it over to Houle. Houle holding it on the left corner. He's getting trapped. He dribbles inside, manages to come around the back, passes it out to Daniels. Daniels fires for 3, airballs it, caught by Murray. Ben Murray bringing it across half court. Looking for an opening. He starts to drive inside. An awkward layup, no good. Rebound by Lorenzo Wilson. He gives it over to Houle. Evan Houle bringing it across half court. He swings it over to Bryant Cicio. Cicio holding it at the left wing. Dribbles to his right. He's holding it up top for Attleboro. 39-36 the score in favor of Brookline as we have less than 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Cicio dribbling around, gives it over to Pearlstein. Pearlstein pumps again, fires from 3, wide open, back rim's it no good, rebound Avalon. And he quickly passes it over to Murray. Then Murray brings it across half court. Murray holding it, gives it over to Bryce Burke up top. Burke swings it over to Ordonez on the right wing, then down to the right corner to Murray. Murray sends it up top to Dulcet Brown. Over to the left wing to Burke. Inside to Ordonez. Ordonez goes for the layup. No good. Rebound again by Wilson. Wilson hands it off to Justin Daniels, who will be bringing it up for Attleboro. Daniels still holding it. Dribbling up top. He swings it over to Pearlstein. Pearlstein on the left wing. Passes it over to Wilson up top. Back over to Cicio on the left wing. He pulls up from 3 and hits it. Game tying 3 by Bryant Cicio that brings a long scoreless run from both teams as we have less than 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And we got a timeout called by Brookline. Ben Murray looking frustrated. And hard to blame him. They were facing a lineup of just one starter from Attleboro, and they failed to pull away despite having the lead on a couple of possessions. And then, of course, Bryant Cicio, the Hockomock League MVP, coming up with a huge three-pointer to tie this game. Brookline's timeout comes with 1:52 left in this third quarter. Brookline has just 1 foul so far this half. A stark contrast from the previous half, where they had 10 fouls in the half. Instead, Attleboro, who had just 4 fouls in the first half, now has 3. We get ready to come out of the timeout called by Brookline coach Courtney Valentine. We'll see who Brookline subbed in. And it looks like Devontae Perez and Alex Sikora will check into the game, along with Ben Murray, Bryce Burke, and Lucio Dulcet Brown. Meanwhile, Qualim Charles returns to the floor for Attleboro, along with Justin Daniels, Bryant Cicio, Evan Pearlstein, and Evan Houle. That's Adam Pearlstein. Inbound to Burke. He passes it over to Perez. Back over to Burke. Over to the right wing to Murray. Murray swings it long over to the left wing to Perez. Then up top to Burke. Then back over to the right wing to Murray. Murray pulls up from 3. No good, just bounces out, but Devontae Perez with a quick putback. 41-39 now the score as Perez immediately delivers off of the bench. Minute and a half to go in the quarter as Bryant Cicio brings it across half court for Attleboro. Dribbling around, being defended by Burke. He drives inside, goes for the layup, and banks it in. Awkward layup hit by Bryant Cicio, as the league MVP is stepping up for Attleboro, and he ties the game at 41. Devontae Perez brings the ball up, swings it over to Bryce Burke on the left wing. Burke passes it over to Dulcet Brown, who recovers after slipping. Passes it over to Ben Murray on the right wing, back up top to Sikora, over to the left wing to Perez. Inside to Sikora, kicks it back out to Perez. Perez dribbles inside, hits traffic, passes it up top to Burke. Burke drives in now, goes for an awkward layup, misses, almost rebounded by Sikora, but he juggles it and loses it out of bounds. Alex Sikora was looking for a putback shot of his own. It doesn't fall though, and now we have some substitutions. Jason Weir, Tim Callahan, and Nick McMahon checking back in for Attleboro as Theo Murray checks in for Brookline, replacing Alex Sikora. So the starters now all back on the floor for Attleboro, with less than a minute to play in the quarter. Inbound to Nick McMahon. McMahon dribbling against Ben Murray. He gets it across half court, floats it in to Charles. Charles kicks it back out to McMahon. McMahon now dribbling against Theo Murray after the switch. He gives it over to Tim Callahan. Back to McMahon. Floats it into Charles. Charles gets the easy layup and draws the foul. Qualim Charles, lethal inside. As so many of those floater passes can't really be caught by anybody else. And I don't know who pushed him from behind. I think they're going to say it was Devontae Perez for his second foul, as Justin Daniels subs in, replacing Bryant Ciccio, who has had a terrific stretch for Attleboro. Qualim Charles going to the line. And we have Daniel Dalzell coming in to replace Ben Murray. And Charles will be shooting the and one. His team leading 43-41. And he front rims it, no good. Rebound Perez. Perez dribbling around cautiously, making sure he's not stripped from behind. He gets across half court, gives it over to Burke. Burke passes over to Daniel Dalzell. Then over to Theo Murray. Then over to Perez. Perez is stripped from behind as he drives in. It's picked up by Daniels. Daniels dribbling in transition, hits traffic, kicks it back out to McMahon. Less than 15 seconds left in the quarter. Nick McMahon holding the ball. Dribbles around a pick. Starts to go inside, hits traffic. Looking for a pass option. He gives it out to Tim Callahan. Callahan sends it up top to Daniels. Daniels fires from three. No good. Rebound picked up by McMahon. He goes for the floater shot. Also no good. And the buzzer sounds on the third quarter. And once again, nobody able to pull away from anybody in this game. And the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers is going to the fourth quarter with a 43-41 lead over the 9th-seeded Brookline Warriors. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I will be back with the fourth quarter of play after a short break. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to the gym at Attleboro High School in Attleboro, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here for this first round matchup of the Massachusetts South Division I Sectionals between 8th-seeded Attleboro and 9th-seeded Brookline. The higher-seeded Blue Bombardiers holding a slim 43-41 lead over the Warriors as the Warriors get the possession arrow to start this game. It's inbounded from Bryce Burke to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling, looking for an opening. He gives it over to Miles Avalon. Avalon pumps, dribbles, then gives it back out to Murray. Murray starts to dribble, almost loses control, but hands it off to Burke. Burke now dribbling around, sends it back up top to Ben Ordonez. Over to Lucio Del Step Brown on the left wing. Up top to Ben Murray. Over to Miles Avalon. He pumps, dribbles, kicks it back out to Ben Murray. Ben Murray starts to drive in, kicks it out to Del Step Brown. Del Step Brown fires from three. No good. Rebound by Avalon. Avalon backs out. They're going to call an offensive foul on Miles Avalon. Some heavy contact against Qualim Charles. I have to admit, Charles sold it a bit, but still an offensive foul. Well played by Qualim Charles, and an offensive foul called on Miles Avalon. They're going to say that's 5 fouls for Avalon. But he's still on the floor, which tells me that the scoreboard is definitely wrong. So he probably only has 4 fouls. Yeah, the scores table is trying to tell everybody it's only 4. The scoreboard is wrong. He only has 4 fouls. So now Bryant Ciccio bringing it up for Attleboro. He gets across half court. Dribbles to his right, starts to drive in, puts up the shot with a hand in his face, no good. Offensive rebound by Charles. He goes for the rebound, and he hits it. Hits the putback. Qualim Charles, so dangerous in the post, such a mismatch. 45-41, now the score in favor of Attleboro as Ben Murray brings it across half court. He starts to drive inside, goes around his defenders, but it rim rolls out, no good. Rebound by Charles, who gets it over to Ciccio. Ciccio brings it up slow, gives it over to McMahon. McMahon bringing it across half court. McMahon passes over to Jason Weir, then over to Tim Callahan. Callahan holding it in the right corner. He passes it over to Qualim Charles. Charles gives it over to McMahon. McMahon starts to dribble in, hits traffic. Tries to dribble in again, kicks it out to Ciccio. Ciccio goes inside. A lot of hang time on that floater shot. No good, but it's knocked out of bounds by Avalon, who is battling Charles for the rebound. Nick McMahon will be inbounding for Attleboro. Looking for a passing option. Running out of time. He floats it to Charles, who catches it, but then hands it off back to McMahon. McMahon starts to dribble inside. He's got an opening. Goes for the layup and hits it. 47-41. Now the score in favor of Attleboro. Ben Murray bringing up the ball for Brookline. Passes it over to Ben Ordonez in the right wing. Then over to Avalon in the right corner. Avalon pump fakes, then passes over to Dulcet Brown in the right wing. Dulcet Brown dribbles inside, hits traffic, and draws a foul. Dulcet Brown was not going for the shot, he was going for the pass out to Bryce Burke. But they're going to call a foul on Nick McMahon. That's his second foul of the night, fourth foul of the half for Attleboro. Lucio Dulcet Brown will have the inbound with 6:09 left to play. He gives it out to Ben Murray in the right corner. Then over to the right wing to Ordonez. Back over to the right corner to Dulcet Brown. Dulcet Brown pump fakes, drives in, goes for an awkward shot, and airballs it. Dulcet Brown was awkwardly trying to get around some defenders, and we have a substitution for Brookline. Theo Murray coming in to replace Ben Murray. Bryant Cicio bringing up the ball for Attleboro. Brookline bringing a subtle press, but he sends a long bomb over to Callahan. Callahan dribbles in, tries to give it to Charles. Charles has it deflected well by Avalon, picked up by Burke, passes to Dulcet Brown in transition. Dulcet Brown goes for the shot, front rim's no good. Rebound by Cicio. Cicio now running in transition, except he pulls back. And now brings it across half court. Over to Nick McMahon on the left corner. McMahon fakes, dribbles inside, and he draws the foul before passing over to Charles. So much more physical play from both sides as we have another foul call. I think this one's going to be against Miles Avalon. That will be 5 for him, and he'll be coming off the floor. And we've also got a timeout call. 47-41 the score in favor of Attleboro. 5:30 left to play in this game. 4 fouls for each team. And it looks like Alex Sikora will be checking in to replace Miles Avalon, who's had such a tough game in terms of foul trouble in his attempts to guard Qualim Charles. Charles makes such a mismatch down low, as I've been saying all night. He's not just tall with a 6'5" height, he's also wide. And anyone who's ever played basketball in the post or even watched basketball played in the post knows that a man with size in both directions is so difficult to guard down low. So Attleboro looking for the inbound. It's floated over to McMahon. Swings it all the way over to Tim Callahan. Callahan fires from 3, no good. Rebound Theo Murray. Murray gives it over to Ben Ordonez, who brings it across half court for Brookline. He passes over to Dulcet Brown on the left wing. Dulcet Brown up top to Bryce Burke. Then over to Alex Sikora. Alex Sikora fires the jumper, hits it. A jumper from just inside the 3-point line by Alex Sikora cuts the lead to 47-43 with 5 minutes to go. Cicio with the ball. He passes it back to McMahon. Back over to Cicio across half court. Sends it over to the corner to Callahan. Then back out to Cicio. Cicio dribbling around, looking for an option. Passes over to McMahon, and they try the trap. He passes out of it to Callahan. Over to an open Cicio. Cicio fires for 3. Front rim's no good. Rebound Sikora. Sikora gives it over to Bryce Burke. Burke brings it across half court. Passes over to Dulcet Brown on the left wing. Up top to Theo Murray. Over to the right wing to Bryce Burke. Burke dribbling around. Swings it over to Dulcet Brown. Dulcet Brown dribbles inside. Goes for a floater. No good. And they go for the rebound. It's picked up by McMahon. The crowd wanted a foul call on Dulcet Brown against Charles, as there's a lot of contact fighting for that board. McMahon brings it across half court. He swings it over to Callahan. Callahan slowly dribbling up top. Passes it over to McMahon on the right wing. McMahon sends it back up top to Callahan. Over to Cicio. Inside to Charles. Kicks it out to Callahan. Callahan tries to pass, deflected by Ordonez, but collected by Cicio. Cicio starts to dribble inside. Swings it over to Weir. Weir puts up the shot just barely. This is violating the shot clock violation, but it's rebounded by Brookline, by Theo Murray. He kicks it to Ben Ordonez, who goes on the run, hits the fast break layup, and draws the foul. And I think they're going to say the basket counts. Hard to tell. They are going to say the basket counts. So a big transition basket by Ben Ordonez off the rebound by Theo Murray. And Ben Ordonez will be shooting the and one as Tim Callahan is called for his third foul. And Qualim Charles checks out for Lorenzo Wilson. And it looks like, yes, Ben Murray has checked back into the game for Brookline. So Ordonez going for the free throw. Puts it up, no good. And he rebounds, so free throw. Ben Ordonez holding it on the left corner. He passes it out to Bryce Burke. Up top to Ben Murray. Brookline back on the offense. Murray passes it over to Theo Murray in the right wing. He passes it up top to Bryce Burke. Over to Ben Ordonez on the left wing. Crowd booing heavily. Over to Theo Murray in the left corner. Back out to Sikora, who sends it up top to Murray. Ben Murray dribbling. Off a pick from Sikora. Still hits traffic. Passes it over to Ordonez. Ordonez hauls up for the free throw line. Front rim's no good. Rebound Sikora. Sikora for the putback, and he draws the foul. Some fantastic offensive rebounding by Brookline, as they draw the 4th foul from Tim Callahan and the 6th foul to have for Attleboro. Almost in the bonus as they trail just 2 points. Alex Sikora will be shooting 2 after his failed putback. He puts up the first and sinks it. It is now just a 1-point lead as Qualim Charles and Justin Daniels check back into the game for Attleboro, replacing Lorenzo Wilson and Tim Callahan. Callahan with 2 fouls before the ball could switch sides. Sikora going for a potentially game-tying free throw. Puts it up. Front rim's no good. Rebound McMahon. Still a 1-point game. Attleboro leads 47-46. McMahon passes across half court to Charles, then back over to Weir. Jason Weir gives it over to McMahon. McMahon holding the ball against Brookline, playing a zone defense now. Swinging it over to Justin Daniels, then into the corner. Shot goes up for 3, no good. Rebounded by Weir. He kicks it back out to Daniels. And a timeout is called. Brian Cicio couldn't make it from the left corner to try and give his team a 2-score lead. And with 2:52 to go, Attleboro with a 47-46 lead over Brookline, but 6 fouls. They're in some foul trouble now, as they are just 1 foul away from getting Brookline to shoot in the bonus. Last half, it was Attleboro shooting the bonus, even shooting the double bonus by the tail end of the half, and now the tables have turned on the foul count. Brookline having made an effective switch to a zone defense to help contain Qualim Charles in the post and limit their foul calls. Alex Sikora doing an admirable job off the bench in relief of Miles Avalon, who fouled out after his attempts to cover Charles. And Brookline comes out of the timeout with a lineup of Ben Murray, Theo Murray, Bryce Burke, Ben Ordonez, and Lucio Dulstep Brown. Attleboro getting ready to come out of the timeout. Their lineup consists of Nick McMahon, Bryant Cicio, Qualim Charles, Justin Daniels, and Jason Weir. Weir will be inbounding. We are now looking around for the inbound. He sends it to the backcourt to McMahon. McMahon slowly bringing it across half court. Hands it off to Cicio. Cicio gets trapped. He dribbles out of the trap, starts to drive inside, loses control of the ball, but they're going to call a foul. Brookline with a smart idea to trap, but they didn't seal off all the holes, and Cicio was able to dribble out of it and go on a drive that drew a reach foul from Bryce Burke. That's his 3rd, Brookline's 5th. McMahon floats in the inbound to Weir. Weir sends it inside to Charles. Charles being double covered, goes to the layup, no good, but they're going to call the foul. That's going to be on Ben Murray, who came over to help Theo Murray on the defense, and Qualim Charles once again going to the free throw line. That's going to be Ben Murray's 1st of the night, 6th of the half for Brookline. The foul count now even as Charles hits his first free throw, extending the lead to 48-46. Still a 1-basket game, and that cannot change with these free throws, as Tim Callahan checks in, replacing Justin Daniels. Tim Callahan, of course, in some foul trouble himself, with 4 fouls so far. Qualim Charles goes for his 2nd free throw. Back rims it, no good. Rebound by Ben Murray. Still a 2-point game. Murray slowly bringing it across half court. Pass over to Bryce Burke on the right wing, and we got a timeout this time by Brookline. 2:31 left to play. The 8th-seeded Blue Bombardiers lead the 9th-seeded Warriors 48-46. Anything could change the momentum of this game right now, and it's really been like that all night. I think the largest lead I've seen was 4 points, and that was early in the first quarter, when Attleboro took a slim advantage, but Brookline almost instantly erased that with a 5-0 run to open the second quarter. course, there was another free 4-point lead back when this game was 47-43. But once again, Brookline trimmed at the margins, and now we stand with a 2-point game. 2:31 left to play, and this is anybody's game. And as we come out of this timeout to the tune of the Dropkick Murphys, with 8th-seeded Attleboro leading 9th-seeded Brookline, 48-46. Brookline will have the ball. They send out their lineup of Ben Murray, Theo Murray, Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown, Ben Ordonez, and Bryce Burke. On the floor, Dahlstedt-Brown inbounds to the backcourt to Ben Murray. Murray brings it across half court, swings it over to Ben Ordonez on the right wing. Over to Dahlstedt-Brown in the right corner. Dahlstedt-Brown dribbles inside, gets stripped! Stripped by Daniels, picked up by Callahan. Callahan passes it over to McMahon. McMahon almost lost control of the ball, but he recovered. Passes it across half court to Brian Cicio. Cicio back up top to McMahon. Over to Callahan on the right wing. Back to McMahon, and then over to Daniels on the left. Daniels dribbles, then gives it back to McMahon. McMahon holding the ball. He gives it over to Cicio on the left wing. Cicio pump fakes, dribbles around, then passes to McMahon. Back over to Callahan. Back up to McMahon. Over to Cicio. Cicio fires from 3. Front ram's no good. Rebound Daniels. He goes for the putback. No good once again. This time rebounded by Dahlstedt-Brown, and he draws the foul. That's going to be a loose ball foul on Justin Daniels. That's his second foul of the night. And that's magic number 7 for Attleboro, as Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown will be shooting the 1-and-1 with his team trailing by 2. 48-46 still the scores. We have some substitutions. Qualim Charles checks back into the game for Attleboro, replacing Justin Daniels. Devani Perez comes into the game, replacing Ben Murray. Dahlstedt-Brown going for the first of the 1-and-1. 1:49 left to play. He puts it up, and it's in. 48-47 now the score. Dahlstedt-Brown with a chance to tie this game here at the line. He puts it up, and it bounces out, no good. Rebound by Weir. Given over to McMahon. It's still a 1-point game. Nick McMahon slowly bringing it across the court for Attleboro. He passes over to Weir, who then gives it back to McMahon. McMahon passes back to Weir, almost picked up by Perez, but then Weir passes it back to McMahon. McMahon looking around, passes over to Weir. His pass is intercepted by Perez. Devani Perez brings it across that court, gives over to Theo Murray, and we got another timeout by Brookline. Devani Perez almost deflected a pass from Nick McMahon to Jason Weir, but then later picked off a pass from Jason Weir over to, I believe, Bryant Cicio. A nice leaping grab, looked almost more like a wide receiver making a catch in the red zone than it did a basketball player, but hey, an interception's an interception no matter what sport you play. So Brookline will have the ball after coming out of this timeout. They trail by just 1 point, 48-47, with 1:23 to go. It's still anybody's game. This is what playoff basketball is all about, folks. Courtney Valentine talking to his lineup. Looks like it's going to be Bryce Burke, Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown, Devani Perez, and both Murray brothers, Theo and Ben, coming out on the floor for Brookline. Coming onto the floor for Attleboro, Justin Daniels, Tim Callahan, Nick McMahon, Bryant Cicio, and Jason Weir. Brookline coming back onto the floor to the tunes of Seven Nation Army. And it looks like it'll be Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown inbounding for the Warriors. Once again, 1:23 to go. Dahlstedt-Brown inbounds to the backcourt to Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling it across. Brings it fast across half court. Fast starts to drive, but almost loses control. Dribbles back out, gives it up top to Theo Murray, rather. Passes over to Devani Perez in the wing. Dribbles in, kicks it up to Ben Murray. Ben Murray passes up top to Bryce Burke, over to Dahlstedt-Brown, then Theo Murray, then up top to Burke, then over to Theo Murray, then over to Devani Perez. Perez dribbles, kicks it out to Burke. Burke dribbles in, pulls up, front ram's no good. Perez deflects the rebound over to Dahlstedt-Brown. Reset the possession. After some passing around, it's now at Ben Murray. Ben Murray dribbling in from the right wing. He goes for an awkward layup, banks it in! Ben Murray gives Brookline the lead, 49-48. And we got a timeout called by Attleboro. 46.3 seconds left to go. A couple of huge clutch performances. First by sophomore Devani Perez as he deflected the missed shot by Bryce Burke and got the offensive rebound over to Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown. Then after some passing around, Ben Murray dribbled aggressively in, and even with a defender on him, put up the awkward layup and banked it in. Brookline with their first lead in some time, and it couldn't come at a much better time. 46.3 seconds left in this first round playoff game. Brookline with a slim 49-48 lead. But everyone's got to be careful here because Brookline already shooting the bonus with Attleboro's 7 fouls. But Brookline is just 1 foul away from putting Attleboro in the bonus. They're at 6. These next few possessions are going to be the biggest possessions of the season for these two teams. We come out of the timeout. Attleboro boasting the lineup of Nick McMahon, Jason Weir, Qualim Charles, Bryant Cicio, and Tim Callahan. It'll be Weir inbounding, and Brookline appears to be bringing the full court press on this. Jason Weir looking for the inbound. He gives it safely over to Qualim Charles. Charles now looking for a passing option. He gives it over to McMahon, who's being tightly covered by Bryce Burke. McMahon brings it across half court. Hands it off to Cicio. Cicio now holding it up top. Cicio dribbling around half court, looking for an opening. Dribbling against Ordonez. He hands it off to McMahon, almost juggled. And we got another timeout called by Attleboro. McMahon looked like he was about to start driving in, and like he might have a slight step on the Brookline defenders. But Coach Mark Poole called timeout, and with 27.1 seconds left, the tension is real in this game. A 1-point game. It's been so close throughout the night. One of those games where you just feel like it's just kind of a shame someone has to lose. All the great performances we've seen throughout this game. Ben Murray, Lucio Dahlstedt-Brown helping to carry their team. Some clutch buckets, some clutch grabs by Devani Perez to help fuel his team's comeback. And then on the other side, guys like Bryant Cicio, who came up with some big play while all the rest of his fellow starters were on the bench in the third quarter. And of course, Qualim Charles providing the nightmare matchups down low for Attleboro. But you can only have one winner in a competition. And as it stands right now, the leader is the 9th-seeded Brookline High Warriors, leading the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers, 49-48 with 27.1 seconds left. We come back out of the timeout. Nick McMahon will be inbounding. He floats it out to Jason Weir. Weir holding it, hands it off to Cicio. Cicio dribbling around, looking for an opening. He goes inside, pulls up, out, no good. Rebound collected by Callahan though. Still a chance for Attleboro. Callahan hands off to Cicio. Cicio dribbling around, 13 seconds left. The crowd is on its feet. Most of it anyway. Bryant Cicio still dribbling with it. 5 seconds left. He fakes out, dribbles in. Stripped by Bryce Burke, but that's a foul. 3.2 seconds left. Cicio was dribbling past his man. And that is going to be 4 fouls for Bryce Burke and the magic number 7. So with 3.2 seconds left, we have a 1-1 chance for Bryant Cicio. I don't think the Attleboro fans would rather have anyone else have the ball in his hands in this situation. He goes up for the first and hits it. Tie game, 49-49. 3.2 seconds left in regulation. Bryant Cicio getting ready for his second free throw. This could be the game. Puts it up and in. 50-49 now the score. And we have a timeout called by Brookline. 3.2 seconds left, and it is a 1-point game now in favor of Attleboro. The Blue Bombardier fans wouldn't have wanted anyone else at the line for that situation. The Hockomock League MVP, who is now getting MVP chants from the crowd from around the gym. Doesn't get much more clutch than that, as Bryant Cicio hits both of his 1-1 free throws and gives his team a 50-49 lead. But of course now Attleboro has to be careful because Brookline is shooting the bonus. They can't foul in these last 3 seconds. They have no fouls to give. And Brookline, they've got to find some kind of an opening, and they don't have a lot of time to do it. And as Eminem's Lose Yourself starts to play for this final possession of the game, it's rather fitting music, I would say, because both of these teams have one chance, one opportunity to seize everything they've ever wanted. Who is going to capture it and who is going to let it slip? 50 to 49 the score, 3.2 seconds left. Lucio Dahlstedt Brown will be sending a long inbound here. And no, we have a timeout called by Attleboro now. This is going to be one of those sets of 3 seconds that take about 5 minutes to play out. But it's been just that type of game. All the tension building, all throughout this game, all the clutch buckets, all the clutch defensive stands, everything leading up to this final moment. Once again, 3.2 seconds left on the clock here in the fourth quarter of this South Division I first round game between the 9th-seeded Brookline Warriors and the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers. Attleboro having just taken the lead on a pair of free throws by Brian Cicio. Both teams shooting the bonus at this stage, so the defense can't afford to get too physical. Brookline's final lineup will be Lucio Dahlstedt Brown, Ben Murray, Theo Murray, Bryce Burke, and Devani Perez. While Attleboro sends out Qualim Charles, Brian Cicio, Nick McMahon, Justin Daniels, and Tim Callahan. Dahlstedt Brown will be throwing the inbound. Everybody is standing at half court. Has it into Ben Murray. Murray swings it over to Theo Murray. Theo Murray juggles it. He's not going to get a shot off. He doesn't. The pass was juggled and he couldn't get the shot off in time. And that's going to end the game. Final score, Attleboro 40, Brookline 49. Ben Murray and Theo Murray tried to connect on the pass. Across half court, it was deflected by a defender. And it just wasn't in the cards this time for Brookline as they couldn't get a shot off in their final 3.2 seconds. One last great defensive stand by Attleboro. A heartbreaking way for the season to end for the Brookline Warriors as the Attleboro Blue Bombardiers will be heading on to the next round this Friday night to take on first-seeded Mansfield. Tough way to end. Tough way to end. The crowd chanting, "We want Mansfield." But boy, a game like that is exactly what you want out of a playoff game. As a fan, a coach, a player, whatever it is, you want games like this. And so at the final score, Attleboro 50, Brookline 49. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here live at Attleboro High School. And before I go to one last break, before coming back with the post game, to all those who have tuned in and listened at any point throughout the season, and especially today for this big game, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening, for giving me your support. And I hope you'll listen to more of my broadcasts once the spring season comes around. I certainly look forward to broadcasting them. As we close out this Brookline basketball season, I'll be back after a short break to give you the final box scores and perhaps a coach's interview with Courtney Valentine. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and I'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Attleboro High School in Attleboro, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, where we just had a heart-stopping first-round playoff game here in the South Division I playoffs. Ultimately, someone had to win, someone had to lose, and the winner tonight was the 8th-seeded Attleboro Blue Bombardiers, just barely edging the 9th-seeded Brookline Warriors at the end there, 50 to 49. Looking through the final box scores, we'll start with Attleboro, working our way up the stat sheet. Qualim Charles, such a difficult matchup in the post. He finished with 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. He finished with 16 points, including just 4 at the free throw line as he started to grow cold at the free throw line at some points. He finished 4 for 10 at the free throw line, so a lot of points left at the line there by Charles, but he racked up those fouls, and foul counts turned out to be really important at the end, especially for Bryant Cicio, who finished the game with the last 2 free throws to win the game. He finished with a total of 14 points, 1 3-pointer, and a 3 for 4 performance at the line, of course going 2 for 2 in his last trip to the line to seal the win. Nick McMahon finished with a total of 8 points, including 2 for 2 at the line. Jason Weir also finished with 6, all in the first half, including 1 3-pointer and going 1 for 2 at the line. Tim Callahan, who ran into some foul trouble towards the end of the game, finished with 6 points, all in the first quarter and all off of 3-pointers. And that about wraps up the scoring for Attleboro in this game. Looking over at Brookline's side, Ben Murray, who made such a heroic effort with that last layup that gave Brookline its 49-48 lead late in the game. He finished with 18 points, including 2 3-pointers and a 2 for 2 performance at the line. Ben Ordonez finished with 4 points, 2 2-pointers, 0 for 1 at the line. Not much in terms of points, but the points he did make were big when they came, and he was an absolute warrior on the loose balls, whether they be on rebounds or steals. Bryce Burke finished the game with 6 points, all in the first half, both on 3-pointers. Lucio Dahlstedt Brown finished with a total of 15 points, 1 3-pointer, 4 for 6 at the free throw line, including a perfect 3 for 3 performance in the first quarter at the line on a 3-point free throw situation. Alex Socorro finished with 3 points, including 1 for 2 at the line, and John Stanton, who came in as a substitute post player to try and guard Qualim Charles, finished 1 for 2 at the line as well to finish with 1 point. Devani Perez had 2 points and came up with another guy who came up with a bunch of clutch performances on the loose balls coming off the bench. And Miles Avalon struggled with fouls throughout the night, but still finished with 3 rebounds, a block, and a steal. So that'll wrap things up for this season of Brookline High Warrior basketball. And to Coach Valentine and his boys, I just want to personally say thank you for a great game and a great season. Thank you to Coach Valentine and to Brookline Brookline Athletic Director Pete Rittenberg for giving me this opportunity, giving me permission to come out and broadcast these Warriors games. It's been an absolute privilege. I've had so much fun with it. And finally, to all those of you who have listened, thank you again. Thank you for your support. Just being honest, when I saw that a professional radio station was going to be broadcasting this game as well, I didn't really expect anyone to tune in. And by the end of the game, I had 10 listeners, which is the highest I've had since I've started doing this. That just speaks to me about how great the fans are here in Brookline, how much you support your boys, and I hope to see much more of that support. I'll be back on the airwaves tomorrow to cover the Brookline High boys hockey team in their playoff matchup in the first round of the South Division II playoffs. They are the 10th seed taking on 7th seeded Dedham at the Canton Ice House. That game is set to start at 5, and I'll be there broadcasting once again. I hope you all will tune in. Thank you so much for a great season, and I hope you guys will tune in again. Thank you and good night.